Bonjour tout le monde, I'm Vibha, and we will be starting with our workshop updated TEF and TCF exam pattern and the registration process. So let's get started. In this workshop, we will be covering these topics. First, we'll look at the TEF pattern, the TCF pattern, then the differences between the two, the scoring tables of the both, some tips for the exam, and the registration process. So, starting with the TEF pattern. Okay. It is conducted by the French Language Center of the CCI Paris-Île-de-France. Uh, I will tell you later when we're doing the differences why this is important. The TEF pattern, the TEF test has four modules in it: compréhension de l'oral, compréhension d'écrit, expression orale, and expression écrite. Okay, these are the four parts of TEF Canada. And recently, we have seen that there are some changes in the TEF pattern. Okay, these are as follows. The speaking and writing part remains the same. Only the listening and reading part has seen some changes. So there are some omissions, okay, in both the sections and some new questions in both the sections. We'll look what they are when we discuss each section in detail. But for now, but for now, we see that in the oral comprehension, which is the listening part, okay, the time is the same, but section B and D have been omitted, and there are some new questions in place. Similarly, in the reading part, section C and D are omitted, and new questions are there. Okay, so we'll see what the new changes are. Uh, yeah, looking at comprehension l'oral, okay, 40 questions, 40 minutes. These are the types of questions that we will have. Okay, 4 questions are dialogue based, 16 questions are small messages, 10 questions related to an interview, and the last 10 questions are miscellaneous conversations. Okay, each correct response will give you 1 point, and there are no negative markings. In both the exams, in fact, there are no negative markings. So I recommend that you respond to all the questions in both the exams for comprehension oral and comprehension écrit, because these will be MCQ based, or there would be a drop down menu. You won't have to type anything on your own. So it is recommended that you answer all the questions. Okay. So what's disappearing is section B and D, and because they are disappearing, they're not as now. We don't want to know what they are. Okay, just forget about them. So what is evolving is that there are more image based questions. There are exercises based on answering machines and public announcements, and there are exercises based on street interviews. Okay, so one thing we know about public messages and street interviews is that there could be a lot of disturbance in the audio. Okay, the inbuilt disturbance, road की आवाज, public की आवाज, the speaker is not very loud, ऐसा सब हो सकता है. Okay, in any audio. This is for TEF and TCF both. Okay, and what's new is more audio tracks, and there would be a radio broadcast. Okay, so what more audio tracks means is that for one audio, there would be lesser questions. Okay, for me, for example, one audio is playing, there could be 6 questions related to it. But with the new pattern, we have more audio tracks, means each audio has lesser questions attributed to it. Okay, and all over TEF and TCF, the scoring is 1 point for correct response, meaning there's no negative marking. Okay, so make it a point to answer all questions. Okay, I'll just give 30 seconds to read over the slide if anyone wants to, and then we'll move on to the next slide. Okay, we are looking at some questions, some examples of questions related to the listening section. So, we look at this one. In this image, there are four types of meals. Okay, the audio could be related to like an order of at a restaurant or something that someone likes to eat, like someone is describing what they like to eat. It could be a very short audio, okay, 15 seconds. तो उसमें से you have to find out कि कौन सा picture है. Okay, the next is this. Okay, so we see the audio here is almost 3 minutes long. Just two questions. Okay, और वो it's this one जिसमें आप क्लिक करते हैं you see 5 options, 4 options, and you have to select one from below. Okay, so long audio only 2 questions, so it means आपको काफी डिटेल में सुनना पड़ेगा. Okay, and your level should be good enough जिससे आप ये सब समझो. Okay, and looking at the third one, audio play होगा, then you have MCQ. Okay, Sarah, I would like some reactions uh, from the reactions below. Okay, great. Thanks so much. So, moving on, we'll go to comprehension écrite, which is the reading module. Again, we have 40 questions, but 60 minutes for this one. Okay. Uh, we have these types of questions, 7 questions related to daily life, 10 questions related to finishing the incomplete text, 5 graphic related questions, 10 would be documents, and 8 would be news articles. Okay. Looking at what is disappearing, what is changing. Okay, section C and D is now removed. So no section C and D. But we have more fill in the blank passages. Okay. This one, incomplete text wala. Okay. More number of passages we have, meaning the passages could be short or long. Okay, but there are more. Then fill in the blanks and reading exercises. Okay, there used to be charts earlier as well, but short passages and charts दोनों हो सकते हैं. So one document could have a paragraph and a chart. Okay, and the scoring is same. 1 point for correct response. Shraddha, we will be taking the doubts later if that's okay.
Sure.
You can type it in if you want. Then I'll remember to look at it. And I will also address it if I can do it now. Okay, looking at some examples. Okay, this is the first one. So this type of fill in the blanks. Okay, of course, सब MCQ based या option based है. आपको खुद से कुछ नहीं लिखना है. Okay, then these are the documents plus fill in the blanks type. Okay, तो ये document है. इसमें से you can get asked the questions like from this one. For example, avec cette carte, qu'est-ce que vous pouvez faire? Okay, so the options could be you could travel, or it is about hotels, or you can get some discount, whatever. Okay, it could be related to the source of the document. ये कहाँ का document है? Okay, looking at this one. For this one, we have a paragraph. Okay, so this I would say is not the longest paragraph that I have seen. इससे भी लंबे paragraphs आ सकते हैं. Okay, and usually for a paragraph like this long, उसमें minimum 2-3 question तो होंगे. Okay, and this one is like a fill in the blanks. Okay, all the questions in listening and reading section are MCQ based or activity based. Either there would be a drop down menu or an MCQ. आपको खुद से सोच के कुछ नहीं लिखना है. खुद से सोचने वाला होगा प्रोडक्शन ओरल एंड एक्सप्रेसियों एक्रिट में. Okay, we'll go to the next section. Oh no, we have more options. So we have the graphs. जैसा मैंने आपको बताया, this is the document where we have the graphics. Okay, so there is one graphic for this one. There could be multiple graphics in the same question. Okay, like different pie charts or a Venn diagram. तो आपको basic knowledge ये सब भी होना चाहिए. Okay, how to look at pie charts and how to look at Venn diagrams. जनरली बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स डॉक्यूमेंट्स नहीं होते जिसमें स्पेशलाइज्ड इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए आपको. These are very basic. Okay, so évolution du nombre de touristes. Okay, and this are much bigger than the last one. Okay, and इसमें दिखा लिखा हुआ है, it's a news article. Okay, okay, only have two tasks for 60 minutes. Okay, the two tasks are finishing the article and expressing your point of view. Okay, very classic TEF. Uh, okay, I see that the audio is cutting off. Um, Shami, are you here? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Is it clear now?
it's better now, but it's cutting off sometimes. So I guess you can continue. If it cuts off, we'll let you know.
Do you want me to repeat the last slide?
Yeah, you can definitely repeat it.
Okay. So we have two more examples for the reading section. This one is the graphic that we were talking about. So there could be multiple graphics in one question or just one graph for the whole questions. Okay. It is important that the candidate knows how to read basic graphical information. Okay, pie chart, bar graphs, line graphs, whatever. ओके, जनरली बहुत स्पेसिफिक नॉलेज वाले ग्राफिकल इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं होता है, बट बेसिक इंफॉर्मेशन वन शुड हैव. And for this one, we see that it is from the news. Okay, it's a journal, Le Figaro. So this is the news article that they were talking about earlier, and इसमें से तीन चार questions हो सकते हैं from this one. Okay, as we know, journal like Le Figaro use a good standard of language and vocabulary. तो टेफ के लिए इन जनरल आपका लेवल अच्छा होना चाहिए. ओके. ओके, कैन वी स्टार्ट विद द राइटिंग मॉड्यूल? वाज माय वॉइस ओके दिस टाइम? ओके, थैंक यू. So we are at express your accrete, which is the writing module. Okay, two questions, 60 minutes. ये हमेशा से टेफ का सेम रहा है. So you have to finish writing an article and expressing your point of view. So when you have to finish writing an article, the beginning of the article would be given to you or the heading of the article. Now you have to imagine and write कि क्या हो सकता है. Okay? इसमें language नहीं, आपकी creativity भी चाहिए होगी. And for the second one, express your point of view. So it is going to be a classic essay, 200, 300 words. Okay, maybe two or three points for or against, या फिर advantages, disadvantages, whatever the question demands. Okay, these things are very important. The sentence formation, conjugation, vocabulary, and the logic. Okay, sentence formation and conjugation का शुरू से हम प्रैक्टिस चालू कर रहे हैं. ओके, बट स्टिल जितना आप वेरिएशंस रखोगे उतना बेटर है. ओके, सो डोंट राइट ऑल द सेंटेंसेस in the plain simple format. Maybe use direct, indirect, or active, passive, है ना. conjugations different different use करो. Don't write everything in present tense. Use imperfect, passive composite, subjunctive, conditional. For anything that you write, minimum एक subjunctive, एक conditional. Okay, if will refer gemere, and just wait for it to get better.
Sorry, we can't hear this one.
Sorry.
Couldn't hear the last part what you said. Your voice was breaking again.
Yeah, I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for it to get better. I'll try to move my data. Just give me a minute. Okay, is it better?
Yes, better.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry for this problem. I was saying for sentence formation and conjugation, variations are very important. Don't write everything in plain, simple format. For sentence formation, use active voice, passive voice, direct, indirect sentences. And conjugations may use minimum one subjunctive, minimum one conditional. Okay, il faut que याद कर लो, j'aimerais याद कर लो. Okay, this is minimum. Okay, it is very important that you use, you know, Not important, but it would be better if you could use the long soutenu, okay, and not the long standard. Okay, soutenu means a higher level, which is more refined. ये आपको कब आएगा? जब आप न्यूज़पेपर्स पढ़ेंगे या फिर रेडियो के जो RFE के डिबेट्स होते हैं या फिर इंटरव्यूज होते हैं. ओके, रीड लिटरेचर. तो इससे आपको थोड़ा पता पड़ेगा. ओके, we will look at the examples for both of these. vocab डेवलप करना, as we know, शुरू से होता है. It is a time taking process. So make your lists for vocabularies, and logic and ideas could be developed with the help of some samples. Okay, so looking at the examples, une mamie en colère. Okay, so this is for the 80 words thing. ओके, जिसमें आपको आर्टिकल का स्टार्टिंग दिया हुआ है एंड यू हैव टू फिनिश राइटिंग द आर्टिकल. ओके, सो आपको स्टार्टिंग में दिया हुआ है इन नामी en colère and why was she en colère. ओके, so you have to continue writing and make sure that the end is really an end, ऐसा लगे कि conclusion हो गया है आर्टिकल का. And for the part 2, we have this: les réseaux sociaux représentent un danger permanent pour les enfants. So it could be, agreeing with this statement or disagreeing with this statement, or pro and against for réseaux sociaux. Okay. So these are the type of questions that you can find in the TEF exam for the writing activity. Okay, you have just 1 hour to do these two things. Okay, minimum 80 words for the first and minimum 200 for the second. तो ऐसा मान लो मिनिमम 300 वर्ड्स आपको 1 घंटे में लिखना है. दैट्स द मिनिमम. ओके, 300 to 350 words. Okay, and the 1 hour is given in total. It's not necessary that you use 25 minutes for the first and 35 for the second. It's just a suggestion. You could do 20, 40, or you could do 15, 45, whatever you like. But also remember, because the second activity has 200 words, there would be more weightage for the scoring for the second one. Okay? Okay, so we move on to the speaking part, which is expression orale. उसमें भी 2 activities, and it's very small, 15 minutes you have. You will have some time for preparation. Okay, the first 5 minutes will be about asking details. So the examiner will give you a document, for example, an ad, and you have to ask details related to the document. Okay, so this would be a telephonic conversation. It won't be a face-to-face thing. मतलब आपका exam face-to-face होगा, but the conversation, the role play has to be a telephonic conversation in most cases. Unless said so, it is going to be telephonic. Okay, and the second document is convincing your friend. Okay, so your friend, meaning the examiner, would play the role of your friend or someone you know, and you have to convince them to go to some place with you or do an activity with you. And in most cases, they are not ready to do it, so you have to be really convincing. Okay, first वाला formal होता है, second वाला is usually informal. So remember to use to and not woo with the second one. और first वाले में woo रहेगा. Again, they will check the similar things and your intonation. Okay, so you have to remember कि अगर आप question पूछ रहे हो तो it has to be questions. And when we're talking about formal questions and asking for questions, it has to be avez-vous and not vous avez. Okay? Avez-vous दे देता है. Okay? Remember these basic things. We look at the examples. Okay? Look at this one. Meuble à vendre. This is first part वाला. ये आपको इतना ad दिया हुआ है. Okay? Meuble à vendre. Then इसमें लिखा है vous téléphonez. So it is going to be a telephonic conversation. So you have to ask questions related to this ad. Okay? इसमें ज्यादा डिटेल्स नहीं है. तो आपको सब कुछ पूछना है. Remember, try to ask as many questions as you can. है ना, जिससे सब कुछ कवर हो जाए. एंड दिस इज हाउ लॉन्ग 5 minutes. तो उतना ध्यान करके कवर करना है कि उतना टाइम आपका चला जाए. लुक हियर. ओके, क्योंकि अगर इधर उतना टाइम नहीं लगेगा तो नेक्स्ट वाले में इट इज पॉसिबल दैट यू माइट हैव टू कवर इट. So, meuble à vendre, you have to ask a lot of questions and it has to last 4 to 5 minutes minimum. Okay, for the second one, okay, this is the document that you have been given. So, media long, ये आपको इसमें थोड़ी डिटेल्स दी हुई है. You can make your own details, okay? So you can be creative here. इसमें, so like you see this ad, okay? You have to talk to a friend और आपको प्रेजेंट करना है पहले तो कि ये है क्या, and then convince them that you go here together. ओके, सो आपने ये देखा, ये डिस्क्राइब के एसोसिएशन का नाम क्या है, देन व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट ऑप्शंस दैट यू हैव, व्हाट आर द एक्टिविटीज दैट यू कुड डू. सो प्रेजेंट लाइक दिस एंड देन कन्विंस. तो इसके लिए आपके पास स्ट्रॉन्ग पॉइंट्स होना चाहिए, व्हाई यू शुड डू दिस. ओके, सो हैव अ स्ट्रक्चर and have some logical ideas. So for this, we can say लैंग्वेज सीखना अच्छी बात है, हमारे पास टाइम फ्री पड़ा है और मैं जॉब ढूंढूंगी आगे जाके तो मुझे हेल्प रहेगी उसमें. इट्स ऑनलाइन. ओके, सो ऑनलाइन ही है, कहीं जाना भी नहीं है. द आवर्स आर फ्लेक्सिबल. ओके, तो यूज एवरीथिंग, मेक न्यू इंफॉर्मेशन एंड कन्विंस योर फ्रेंड. ओके, स्टार्टिंग में वो कन्विंस नहीं होंगे बट एंड तक हो जाएंगे इन मोस्ट केसेस, अनलेस आप नहीं ही कर पा रहे हो. बट एंड तक हो जाएंगे, वो भी एग्जामिनर भी हो जाते हैं. बट यू हैव टू बी वेरी स्ट्रांग फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग. ओके, so these are reading, writing, listening and speaking. Okay, this is the end for TEF. इसमें ये देख लो एक बार, then we will move on to TCF. TCF का पैटर्न. Okay, moving on to TCF. It is by the French Education Ministry. Now, what do we know about the French Education Ministry? It also conducts the DELF exams. Okay, so DELF pattern and the TCF pattern are similar. We know a lot about DELF. Even like we suggest to our students as well to appear in the DELF exams. तो TCF का एक फायदा ये है कि अगर आपको DELF पता है तो you are knowing the TCF pattern. Okay, the pattern of questions. इसमें भी सेम चीजें हैं. Compréhension orale, compréhension écrite, expression orale and expression écrite. Okay, we will look at all the question types and all like we did for TEF. But one thing with TCF is that the difficulty level is increasing after every question. So, like initial questions would be simpler, and the later questions would be more difficult. Okay, so if we know such patterns, it is very helpful for us. Looking at comprehension orale, 39 questions, 35 minutes. The scoring is the same. 1 point for correct response. क्वेश्चन टाइप्स भी सेम है एज इन एमसीक्यू या एक्टिविटी बेस्ड ही होगा बट वी डोंट नो द क्वेश्चंस के मतलब जैसे टेफ में हमें पता था 5 क्वेश्चन इसके होंगे 6 क्वेश्चन इसके होंगे टीसीएफ के लिए ऐसा नहीं है ओके द टॉपिक्स वी नो बट ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि इसके 10 क्वेश्चन होंगे ही इसके 5 क्वेश्चन होंगे ही ओके बट द क्वेश्चंस आर गोइंग टू बी दिस Okay, so they are related to everyday conversations, public announcements, interviews, and short presentations. Okay, so maybe, for example, looking at this image, audio play हो रहा होगा, and there would be maybe different conversations, 4-5 different conversations, and then you have to find out कि इस image में कौन सा conversation चल रहा है ना? Okay, we have more. इमेजेस से रिलेटेड ये भी हो सकता है क्वेश्चन कि यू हैव टू अरेंज द इमेजेस और मैच द इमेजेस टू द ऑडियो है ना दीज आर आल्सो कॉमन क्वेश्चंस एंड लुक एट दिस वन इट्स जस्ट एन ऑडियो और उसमें ऑप्शंस हैं ओके प्लेन क्लासिक दिस टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चंस ओके listening TCF okay good then we are at reading 39 questions 60 minutes 1 point for correct response इसमें भी topics are going to remain the similar ones. Okay, advertisements, instructions, emails, CVs, administrative documents, literary works. Okay, इसमें आपके पास टेक्स्ट है और क्वेश्चन है सिंपल ओके इसमें भी ग्राफिक्स वाले पॉसिबल हैं okay so here we have an email in this one and the questions related to it okay this one is like an ad okay étudiant sérieux propose de garder vos enfants so it's about a babysitting ad okay okay I would like a confirmation from someone if my voice is audible clear okay
Yeah,
good
it is.
thank you so much thank you okay TCF में भी as I said डॉक्यूमेंट का डिफिकल्टी लेवल बढ़ता जाएगा विद द क्वेश्चंस तो लॉन्गर डॉक्यूमेंट ओके इट टेक्स मच मोर टाइम एंड इट इज इम्पोर्टेंट कि आप दोनों एग्जाम्स में फॉर टेफ टीसीएफ बोथ सारे क्वेश्चंस को रिस्पॉन्ड करो टेफ में ऐसा लाइक आई हैव हैड फीडबैक फ्रॉम अ फ्यू ऑफ द कैंडिडेट्स दैट सारे क्वेश्चंस खत्म नहीं हो पाते टेफ में ओके टीसीएफ में फिर भी चांस है लाइक फिर भी देखा है मैंने कि लोग कर लेते हैं टेफ में नहीं होता है तो उस केस में आप सब में रिस्पॉन्ड कर दो ओके एंड अगर टाइम नहीं है आप तुक्का मार रहे हो तो आई वाज टॉकिंग टू वन ऑफ द कलीग्स ही मेंशन्ड कि जब भी तुक्का मार रहे हो सेम तुक्का मारो एज इन सिलेक्ट द सेम ऑप्शन फॉर ऑल द क्वेश्चंस ओके सब में ए डालो या सब में बी डालो मूविंग ऑन टू द राइटिंग मॉड्यूल इसमें 3 टास्क हैं ओके एक्सप्रेसियों एक्रीट they will be checking the similar things, but इसमें these are better. Okay, why? I'll tell you. Informal text जो postcard होता है, which we learn at A1 level. One of them is that, okay, 60 words minimum. Then we have the semi-formal text, like replying to an email. Okay, and the third one is the formal text, which is the classic report or essay. Okay, now you would think कि इसमें हमें लिखना ज्यादा है, given लिखना ज्यादा है, but personally I feel that this would be easier because I know इन सब में लिखना क्या है ना? It's just like a postcard. Postcard तो बहुत छोटा होता है. Then we have a like a reply to an email or a letter. Okay, like इसका मैंने ज्यादा प्रैक्टिस किया है. When I say मैं, I mean in general, okay, for like my students as well. इसका हमने प्रैक्टिस किया है because this is something that we are much more familiar with. तो mentally I am more at peace with these things. Okay, because टेफ में हमने जो देखा था फर्स्ट पार्ट जिसमें आर्टिकल का स्टार्टिंग दिया हुआ था, दैट इज मोर क्रिएटिव. आपको सोचना है कि उसमें लिखूं क्या, है ना? कुड बी ट्रिकी फॉर सम, कुड बी इजी फॉर सम. ऐसा नहीं बोल रही कि वो मुश्किल है, बट वी आर फेमिलियर मोर विद दीज थिंग्स. ओके, लुकिंग इसमें, हाँ, vous avez rencontré quelqu'un qui dit connaître vous, votre collègue Joanna. Vous envoyez un message à Joanna pour lui raconter la rencontre et lui décrire cette personne. So this is going to be semi-formal text. Okay. तो this is like इसमें काफी क्लियरली दिया हुआ है कि आपको क्या लिखना है. Okay. And look at the look at the word limit here, 120 minimum. Okay, so this is इसमें आप ये सारी चीजें बोलने में 120 वर्ड्स इज वेरी इजी, है ना? एंड for this one, formal text which is essay or report, it is the similar as what we have been doing जो टेफ में भी है, similar text. And this is the postcard, meaning inviting your friends or saying no to an invite. Okay, something like that. Okay, and moving on to speaking. Very simple. काफी डेल्फ पैटर्न इसमें तो बहुत ही ज्यादा है. Why? Because structured interview, एक मतलब आपका बेसिक इंट्रोडक्शन होगा. They could ask a few questions. Then you have a role play. Okay, like basic role play जो हम करते आए हैं. Buying vegetables, making a reservation, and things like that. And expressing your point of view. This is going to be a monologue, no questions asked. Okay, so they could give you a question to talk about. जैसे talk about your school education, or it could be also related to something जैसा कि हमने पहले देखा था. Cultural questions कुछ हो सकते हैं. Should cinema be free for all? So you express your point of view. Okay. So this is the document for the second one. Okay, role play wala. Okay, this is the document given. So you have to make a reservation in this program. Okay, तो कैसे करोगे? आपको पहले कुछ डिटेल्स पूछनी है, पैसे पूछेंगे, डिस्काउंट मांगेंगे. Then you select your slot, your dates, and then make a reservation, make the payment, mode of payment, whatever. है ना? Okay. यहाँ तक कोई doubt? We did the pattern of TEF and pattern of TCF. Any doubt still here? Yes, Karthik.
So in TCF, for listening, all the questions will be graphic related.
No, no. Listening? नहीं. No, no. It's not that. Listening would be normal. जो we have documents. उसमें थोड़े होंगे. मैंने आपको ग्राफिक्स मतलब इमेजेस वाला दिखाया है. Then there are questions like this as well. Okay, this
Oh,
one.
yeah,
Document है.
7.
मतलब audio document है and then you have questions related to it.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, Shraddha.
Yeah, so for TEF, the writing part, you said we will have to write, like the written part would be in, no, sorry, the reading part would be in multiple choice questions only.
Yeah. Reading now. Reading
Hmm.
and listening for both are multiple choice.
Only for the writing part, we'll have to write in like a big paragraph or so.
That is तो always है. मतलब writing and speaking is like उसमें कोई format ऐसा नहीं है कि मतलब इतने में ही खत्म करना है. Okay, so you have to write खुद से for both TCF and TEF both. Writing is like आपको blank sheet देंगे if you are writing and हाँ.
Got it. So,
Ma'am,
Okay.
I would like to know, for this, the pattern of writing this exam, that is listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Okay, till the writing part, is the entire thing given at once? Like, is it like IELTS, whether
Yeah,
whether they'll
it
be
is very
giving
much
us,
like ours. Yes.
Okay, so first they will give us the listening, and we'll finish this paper, and we'll be giving back to them, right? They'll be giving us the time. I mean, the
So,
time will
okay.
be mentioned on the screen, is it?
No. So for listening, you start with the listening. Okay, if it's computer based, सब साथ में ही हो जाता है. As in, you start आप मतलब सबका सारे candidates का साथ में start होगा. Then it will keep going on. The audio will keep going on till the end. Okay, and when the time finishes and the audio stops, listening वाला आपका खत्म हो जाएगा. The screen will go away.
Okay. Okay. And the
Yeah,
reading will
similar for
be,
reading. Yeah, आपको टाइम दिया होगा. आप like you can scroll अपने हिसाब से, but as soon as the time finishes, the screen will go away.
okay. Because for this time it's written. That's what the exam center had, let me know, that TCA will be written. It's a written pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
हाँ,
So
तो
we'll have, okay. Okay, ma'am.
yeah, so for that, the audio will be played by the examiner.
Okay.
Okay, you won't have the option. मतलब आपको headphones के साथ नहीं होगा. As far as I know, but it then also differs for every center. So you have to check with your center.
Okay. Uh, um, uh, okay, ma'am. And for the next, for the reading, it will be separate, right? We'll be getting the time. The time will be mentioned on the screen, right? And we'll be knowing that the time starts and the time ending will be given
Yeah,
to us. I believe
yes.
so.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Again, from center to
Okay, ma'am.
center it differs, but usually there is a clock which is there. So आपको पता होता है that your time is going to end soon, and they announce as well.
Okay. Ma'am, while
Hmm.
doing reading, if you want to make a change in the listening, in our
No,
answer, can we do it? No. Okay.
no.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I have Anosh Leo.
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
Yes, so you were just saying that like for listening and reading, it's like fully MCQ based, right? So there are no like fill in the blanks or master table stuff like that, like we have in IELTS.
Fill in the blanks or
Like match the table and there's like an aisles, right?
Could be, no. As far as I know, no matching. Fill in the blanks, yes, but the options are there. So you have to select from the options for
But they're
fill in the
all
blanks.
MCQ. They're all MCQ, you said? 40?
Yes.
Okay, okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So let's take a 2 minutes break here after we have discussed the TEF and TCF patterns. Okay, then what's next is we will be seeing the differences and how to register and the scoring. Okay, so see you in 2 minutes. Okay, is everyone here?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, let's start again. We are looking at now the differences between TEF and TCF. So paper pattern हमने देखा there are differences. Okay, उसके अलावा when I was talking about the organizers, uh, TCF is conducted by the French Education Ministry, which is the same as the DELF. So as I already mentioned, DELF का pattern we are much more familiar with. Okay, there are multiple things that you can appear in DELF also to practice for the TCF. Okay, but TEF is organized by the CCE Paris Île-de-France. तो उसमें when the organizers differ, difficulty level और उनके standards also differ. Okay, personally, I feel this is मैं मेरे लिए बात कर रही हूँ. Okay, this is better, would be better for me because I have given the DELF. Okay, TCF का speaking is much more simpler. Okay, 10 मिनट बोलना है और 5 मिनट 2 बार बोलना है. उसमें से 5 मिनट 2 बार बोलना मैं प्रेफर करूंगी. Okay, the difficulty level, as I said, TCF में increasing होता है. Okay, the first question would be much more simpler than the last one. But TEF में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Okay, There are no simple or difficult questions, there are just questions. For TEF, we're talking about questions. I was recently talking to one of the candidates. They mentioned that, she had practiced so much for the TCF कि उन्होंने जो प्रैक्टिस किया था उनको वही क्वेश्चन फाइनल एग्जाम में आया था. Okay, so the questions are being repeated in the TCF, but there's no chance of repetition in the TEF. Okay, so अगर repetition हो रहा है, it is very much advantageous for us. Go for it. And resources, because there have been a lot of changes in the TEF recently. Paper pattern में भी, scoring में भी. तो things have changed a lot. And recently बहुत सारा material नहीं है. But as compared to TEF, हमारे पास TCF का अब बहुत material है. Because इसमें अभी recent कोई changes नहीं है. Okay, so these are the major differences जो कि I felt are necessary to say. उसके अलावा पैटर्न और स्कोरिंग में तो डिफरेंस है ही. लुकिंग एट द स्कोरिंग, okay, for TEF and TCF, one thing which is very important to remember is that it can change anytime. मैं आज आपको ये बता रही हूँ, ये कल चेंज हो सकता है. Okay, like we saw the change in December 2023. तो ये है स्कोरिंग. I'll tell you, if you are aiming for CLB 7 or more, देख लो आपको इतना स्कोर करना जरूरी है हर एक मॉड्यूल में. ओके, इट डज एवरेज आउट. तो किसी चीज में अगर इधर इधर वाले में रह रहे हो, कोई कोई में तो इज ओके, बट टारगेट हमारा ये है. ओके ओके, सो रीडिंग में 434, राइटिंग में 428, लिसनिंग 434 एंड स्पीकिंग 456. This is the minimum that we want to achieve if we are aiming for CLB 7. Okay, earlier TEF में सब कुछ सेम था. Okay, 450 minimum for every module, but it has changed recently. So we see कि writing has become easier, listening has become easier, and reading has become easier. मतलब scoring wise हमें कम स्कोर करना है CLB 7 लाने के लिए, but speaking का थोड़ा बढ़ गया है. Even by 6 points, but बढ़ गया है. Okay, I will be saying everything in English now. I'm sorry, I wasn't aware. So I'm saying that earlier we had to score. I'm sorry, Charity. Earlier we had to score
It's
only
okay, but
450.
because I cannot understand if that's French or what. Because I think I'm the only one who's Filipino here, so I don't understand the other the terms you're.
Yeah.
That's why I asked.
I'm speaking in Hindi, but yeah, I will not
Oh,
speak in
Hindi.
Hindi
Okay.
now. Sorry. Yeah.
I'm the only one I think in Philippines. It's okay. I
Yeah.
just confirmed. Thank you.
Thank you. So, I was saying minimum we had to score 450 earlier when the pattern had not changed. But now, since December 2023, which is 2024, we have to score less to get the CLB 7. Okay, 434, 428, and 434 are the minimum for reading, writing, and listening. Okay, earlier it used to be 450. This is B2 plus. Okay, so it has become simpler to score B2 in these three sections, but a little difficult in the speaking section because it has increased from 6 points. Okay, again, repeating, the scoring pattern can change at any time. Okay, this is this can change very easily. That's why it's changeable. Okay, I'm telling you this today, it could change tomorrow or the next week. Now we'll be looking at the TCF scoring. Okay, writing and speaking are graded out of 20. reading and listening out of 699. Okay, so if we are targeting for CLB 7, these are the things that we need to score. Okay, and I believe for writing and speaking, any of our student who's studying for minimum 6 months, let's say, they can achieve 50% minimum in TCF. Okay, because the things are very straightforward. For reading and writing, like I believe our students have a decent level. Okay, so I believe that you can do it for TCF. Even for TEF, you can do it. And I trust that everyone will do it. But it could be a little intimidating looking at these big numbers, is all I'm saying. Okay, so TEF and TCF scoring. Are these two tables clear? Okay, thank you so much. Now, these are some tips. Maybe Shami, you can tell the tips.
Yes. Yeah. So I'll go with the tips that we can tell our students to use as a good practice. So the first one is, as there is no negative marking, so answer all the questions. So as ma'am already mentioned over here, that because there is no negative marking, even if you don't know the answer, just like answer the questions. Okay, so just mark the questions, so that will always help you. The next part is manage time very well. So while practicing mock papers, or even generally practicing while you are writing or speaking, or doing anything for the practice sessions, please time yourself, okay, from day one. So whenever you are practicing mock papers, you're doing lesson sheets, you're doing practice sheets, make sure that you are timing yourself. And as you know the allotted time for all the modules, so you can have a better or clearer idea of how much time is allotted, and accordingly you can practice to it. Okay, the third point is reach the center before time. This point is very essential. Okay, so this is a real time example with one of our students who appeared for TEF in January. So she reached the center exactly on time and with no extra minutes in hand. Okay, and while she was changing her rooms and finding the speaking room where the speaking session was going on, she couldn't find the room, and she eventually panicked, and it led to loss of time. Okay, so we suggest you that you reach the center at least half an hour before, so that you have some time in hand to settle down, to calm down, to find the rooms, to get familiar with the place. Okay, so please reach the center at least half an hour before, so that you have some time in hand. The last point is practice with Prep My Future or any e-module. Okay, so lastly, we suggest you that if you are appearing for TEF or TCF, make sure that you get an e-module like Prep My Future to practice. So in Prep My Future, you will have real-time mock tests, test papers, lesson sheets, practice sheets, which will prepare you for the exam beforehand. Okay, so you can definitely subscribe to Prep My Future, which will come very handy if you are preparing for either TEF or TCF. Okay, so these are the few tips that will help you going ahead while giving the exam. Okay, thank you. Yes, ma'am, you can continue.
Thank you so much, Shami. So we are looking at the registration requirements now. Okay, there are no restrictions for anyone, but just two things: that you should have a valid passport and you should be 16 years or older. Okay, and if you are reappearing in the exam, the cool down period is 30 days, a month. Okay, the registration process is very simple, very straightforward. Select your center and the date. So you select your slot. You fill the application form and pay the fees, and you will receive a confirmation. Okay, so filling the application form is simple. It's basic application form, and the fees is mostly done online. Okay, but the process might differ just a little from center to center. Okay, but this is the basic procedure, and they will send you an email confirmation once you have done everything. Now here I have a registration form of TEF Canada, from one of the institutes. It is the similar for all, like the major portion of procedure is the same. It's just that the registration form might differ a little. The information they need is the same. The format, or you know, the way of asking things might be different. So it's basic. So it's your name, your birth date, address, very basic administrative details. Okay. Okay. Now we are mostly done with the TEF and TCF part. I just want to tell you this gives me very much joy because we have been working a lot on this since the past month. We have made a French keyboard. It's one of the first in India, Indian made, and you can use it on your iOS and Windows. Let me share my screen. Okay, uh, I'm talking about the keyboard which you can type to use, which you can use to type accents. Okay, it's on our website frenchclass.in. You go to resources and then French keyboard. We made this because we saw a lot of students had trouble typing the accents. Okay, they would send us the homeworks without typing the accents in, and they would just mention in a comment that for these e's there is this accent, and for these e's there's this accent aigu and whatnot. So you can use this. For example, we write fmr. Okay, so I write a ph, I type, and m a r o. Okay, okay, for example, mer, m e r e. It's simple to use. We still have like you might face some issues. We, as far as we know, we have made all the problems go away. But if you face any problems while typing anything, you let us know. There is also a small translation keyboard to help you out if you need. And yeah, you can start using it as soon as you want. Let us know. I have sent the link in the chat. We'll also send you the link later. So yeah, this is something that we have been working on, and it brings me a lot of joy that we have something like this finally on our website. Mobile may it won't work because in our mobiles we have the typing facility. Like when you keep on pressing long press on your keyboard, you see the accents, but there wasn't the case for the laptops and computers. So there you go. Okay. Yes, Shubha ma'am.
Ma'am, you had been specifying regarding the mock practice tests, right? So you have suggested Prep My Future. So other than Prep My Future for TCF examination, do you have any other official e-mock modules are available?
Official though this only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. And one more question, ma'am. For speaking, you had mentioned that if it's a formal kind of a role play or a questionnaire, we'll be using the inverse pattern, right? So normally, what I understood till date was like when we do speaking, I mean a role play, for example, it's an oral, so we'll not use the inverse, and inverse will be written only for the written, like while we write only. That's what I understood
What
actually.
is inverse? I don't get it.
Inverse in the sense, like you say, who's away, woo, the inverse.
Ah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. That is for speaking and writing. It
okay.
is formal.
Okay, so we will be doing it in the speaking also, the inverse, if it's a formal speaking. Is it
Yeah,
so? Or, okay, okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you, ma'am.
welcome. Okay, we're ready for Q&A. I am done with everything that I had to say about TEF, TCF, the differences. We will be taking questions now.
Okay, so does anyone have any more questions for ma'am?
For
Yes,
the
Karthik.
sorry.
So do you suggest TCF more than TEF?
See, it's not, this is my preference. In the end, it should be you who decides, okay? Because everyone will say your maybe your lawyer or your counselor or the French teacher, but you have to decide. Look at both the things, okay? I have given you information about both the exams. I told you what I feel is simpler, but you have to decide what you feel better in.
Okay, got it.
Ma'am, is the writing part like, or do you have an option? Is the writing part just online or like in person also? Because um, I know they say that you should learn to use the keyboard as soon as possible.
It depends on, okay, two things about these exams. For TCF, it could be pen and paper based or computer based. Okay, you might be given an option, but for TEF, it's computer based only. Okay, now if we have the keyboard on screen or you have the physical keyboard, that depends on your center. Okay, so that's why it is important that you ask a lot of questions to your center while making the appointment. Okay, ask everything. If possible, visit the center one day before. Okay, so this will go with the center. So Aisha has a question. How does in-person exam work when we per computer? So TCF in many places in India. So for example, I know in Bhopal they give you an option for pen and paper exam for TCF. TEF is computer based only. If computer, how will the keyboard be? Again, repeating the same thing. It depends on your center. It could be on-screen keyboard or they would give you a physical keyboard with the on-screen option of accents. There could be the one that we launched. Okay, Aisha? Great. Shubha?
Ma'am, for the writing section, you have told us the word limit, right? So, what do you suggest? Is it better to stick on to the minimum word limit because we have three writing for TCF? So, if it's
It like not like if it's 200, don't stop at 200, maybe make 210. This is what I
okay,
do. Yeah.
okay.
But
So,
if you
ma'am, if
stop
it's
at
60 to
200, that's
100,
fine as well.
okay, if it's 60 to 100, it's better. Just like by 70, we can stop, right? instead of going for the maximum, so that we can manage the time?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. When you reach the word limit, if
Okay.
you reach 60, start wrapping up.
Okay. 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 Ma'am, and one more question. For speaking, we have three activities. So the first one you have told us will be a structured interview where we'll have an introduction. Basically,
Yeah,
we
and they
will
could ask
always
you
have an
questions. Yeah.
introduction, right? So it's
Hmm.
and they will ask. So it's good that we be prepared for this introduction and very well
Yeah. Yes,
beforehand
yes. Hmm.
because okay, okay. And how long should we like? Is there a time limit for our introduction? Like how many minutes
So,
we should go on?
it is,
We can be prepared for.
they allot maybe 2 minutes, but you prepare for 4 minutes.
Okay,
Okay, for
okay,
anything that you can prepare beforehand, like for example, introduction or writing a letter, I would suggest prepare extra so that, you know, during your exams, a candidate is stressed or they forget at the end point. So it's important that you prepare extra things.
okay,
Okay.
okay. Ma'am, and one more thing. After the structured interview, after that, the role play comes up in the second part where it goes for 5 minutes. And there is a preparation time also, right? For the role play, I
Hmm.
guess.
Yeah, yeah,
They'll give
there is a
us 2 minutes or so.
preparation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So, and then we have we have to express our opinion. That's a third task. So,
Yeah.
if we spend more time I mean, I don't know, but if we spend more time for the role play, is there like the third task? We won't have much time, I guess, to
No,
complete.
no. So usually what happens
They
is
will
that
stop us in between, or
they will not stop you, but they will, while doing the role play, they will give you some indication to move on. Okay, usually.
okay,
And it said
okay,
12 to 15 minutes or 15 to 17 minutes. So there is 1 to 2 minutes extra that you have, but usually this is the time.
okay, okay. Okay, so is there anything like the third task will be we'll be having less time? I mean to express our
No, no,
point.
no.
No. Okay. Okay. Okay, ma'am. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I have a question from Charity if the accents are important. So accents are a part of spellings. If you're not putting the accent, it is considered a spelling mistake. Now, spelling mistake, uh, it will affect your text in general. So try not to make such spelling mistakes knowingly. They can ignore one, two, like smaller mistakes if there are a few mistakes. But if the mistakes are repeated, they might cut some marks for that. The examiner will be speaking French, yes. The question from Bijoy. Are you aware of any candidate who went for Canada permanent residency with TCF? Yes. My agent has specifically suggested TEF. Uh, so I don't know why they are specifically suggesting TEF. Maybe ask them reasons if they have some specific reasons. As far as I know, it is the same thing. You have to appear in an exam for French, and then you put up your file. Okay, so you only need your French score. Usually, it is not related to an exam that you have to appear in this specific exam. If they have a specific requirement, then ask them. If no, then I think you can appear in both. We know people who have appeared in TCF and got the PR. My most, like my closest person is Bansari ma'am, who is also a faculty at La Forêt French class. She had given her TCF and she has gotten her PR because of this exam only. She has not. I don't know. I don't think she has appeared in the TEF exam. She has only appeared in TCF. Yeah.
Uh, Ma'am, so you told in listening the audio will be going on and on. So listening part for TAF it will be 40 minutes. So audio will be 40 minutes long.
There would be multiple audios, not one audio
Mm,
40 minutes long. No. there will be only one audio file, but multiple audios, and there might be gaps in between. Like in between two audios, there could be 30 seconds gap.
Oh, okay, perfect. Got it.
And speaking, if you accidentally spoke English, if like it depends actually, Charity. It depends on your examiner, what kind of a mood they are in, and what you spoke, how much of English you spoke. It depends on a lot of things. Try not to speak in English if you are saying like even if you are exclaiming, try to do that in French, is what I'll say. Just ignore speaking English. Yes, Tanya.
During the speaking part, do examiners usually have like a timer or something? So like you know where you are at, because people would usually know the format
No,
before
no, I don't think they have a timer like that.
that. Okay. But they will like conduct the time, so they will like give you hints
I
and
think
like
so. Yes.
uh,
Yeah, they will give you hints. Okay, but you should practice like that. Okay, when you record yourself, have time. Okay, so make a habit to know what the like how much you're speaking. You have to time yourself while practicing. Yes, Shubha.
Ma'am, while speaking, like, is there any something that something that can help us like to think, like, instead of being silent, or any, I mean, normally people, I mean, me especially, when I think, I just keep a sound like and
Yeah.
normally that is, I think that's not recommended, but is there any any ways like for us to think, so just give us some time, at least a second or a
Usually the connector logic might help you. Okay, firstly,
okay, like,
secondly, these
okay,
things,
okay,
moreover, however, these are in English.
okay.
But yeah, um,
Or like
these things,
alors, like en fait, like
hello,
can we?
exactly.
Okay, okay, okay,
Okay,
okay, ma'am.
use these things. Don't say silent and don't do the sound. I tend to
Uh,
do it as well, but for an exam, it's not appropriate.
okay, okay. And one more thing, ma'am, for when we answer each question, like for reading and listening, it's like generally how much time? It's is it a 30-second for one question that we get, or we are supposed to? I mean, just to know how
Yeah,
to match the
30,
time.
30 seconds. You take a benchmark of 30 seconds because see the time is exact. It
Okay.
won't increase by 1 second as like even 1 second. If they say 40
Okay.
minutes, then it is over in 40 minutes.
Hmm. Okay.
So you divide your time accordingly.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
Okay. In what part of our class will be practicing French? Speaking French? Okay. So usually you practice with your teacher. You should discuss it with your faculty because every teacher has a different style. Other than that, you can send voice recordings to your teacher. I would recommend that.
so
You're
during
welcome.
our like self-study time, like the 3 months after and before the year ends, um are we able to still like access the teacher just in like voice message and just through WhatsApp, or how does the that format go after the classes end?
Okay. Shami, would you like to answer that?
Okay, so even after the classes end, definitely you can have be in contact with the teacher as we mentioned. So in case of any doubts and queries, you can reach out to the faculty, and you can also reach out to the admin team if you need any special sessions.
Okay.
Okay, so do we have any more questions?
I think we can close the Q&A round.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Uh, so yeah, this is the end of the workshop. I hope this information has been helpful and it would be helpful in making your final decision. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Let me know if you have doubts, connect with the team, stay in touch.
Thank you.
Take
Thank you,
care.
ma'am.
Bon weekend. Au revoir.